Hello and welcome to Sports Vehicle Performance. Today we're joined by this lovely Porsche 996 Turbo. We're going to be filming a buyer's guide, so that'll run through all the common issues, basically what to look out for if you're thinking of buying one. The Porsche 996 Turbo might just be the best value supercar money can buy. All-wheel drive, Metzger engine, 911 heritage, and it's still usable every day. But with prices rising and parts aging, you've got to know what you're buying. So here's everything you're going to need to know if you're thinking of buying one of these Porsche 996 Turbos. First thing I'm going to do is take a walk around the car, check out things like panel gaps, check they're all okay, look for signs of previous paintwork and things like that. These cars, obviously being a turbo sports supercar, they, especially when they were new, were used on track quite a lot and could have some hidden history. This example is actually really good condition, so there's not actually too much to show you. It's always good on these as well to check out the headlights because they're very expensive to replace. The early ones especially suffered with foggy lenses, but again, these are actually in a very good shape considering the age of the car. So yeah, just take a look around, check your door shuts, the front and the back. Check all your grills as well are intact up here especially, and just check they're all seated properly. And these can come loose as well. Just check they're all properly secure. And yeah, just take a good look around. As I say, this one's in really good condition, so it's a good example to see, but not so much of a good example to show you what to look out for. Spoiler as well is another common thing. So the hydraulic rams on them fail and leak. So it's always good, simply just button in the car, send the spoiler up, make sure it comes up, drop it down, and check it comes down. If you see it coming down, what will happen is when they're leaking, they'll come up and they won't sit level. One side will be lower than the other. That's if obviously one side's failed, but if they both fail, it just won't come up at all. So yeah, look out for that. That's another good thing that's going to save you money if you're thinking of buying one. So next up, we're going to take a look around, wheels, tyres, brakes and suspension, things like bump stops that you can see through the arch. But before that, we're just going to go around, give the wheel a shake, check for any play, and that's all solid as it should be. That's checking for things like play and wheel bearings and any suspension arms. If you look under here, you'll see the bump stop. So that one there is a tiny crack in it, but that's not really too much to worry about. These often go on, most Porsche models of this similar age. So that's intact, spring's all good, it's not broken away at the bottom edge, and that's also another common thing. You'll look and think you've got a whole spring, but it's actually chipped to the bottom. That's another common thing, but you can feel that it's sat perfectly in the seat. Tyres, they're all 24 dated Continentals, so that's a good sign when you're buying a car that it's got matching set and they're fairly recent. Discs and pads. The discs are pretty good, to be honest, slight lip on there, but nothing really. The front pads, however, are starting to get down. They're okay. Don't need changing yet, but something to monitor. And again, if you're thinking of buying one, just cater that into your budget and what you're willing to spend. Moving around the front, we'll just have a quick look at the radiators because these are very common for leaves and debris sitting against and corroding the faces of the aircon rads. So as you can see, these have recently been changed and they're basically like brand new on the left and the right. The center one isn't new, but it's in pretty good shape, to be honest. So yeah, again, very good sign that someone's looked after the car, spent the money on it, and not just let it go to no good. This side here, just to compare the bump stop, well there you are, it's actually broken. It's just been held on by the dust cover. So that there is your other bump stop, well, half of this side, what remains. So that's obviously not what you want, but it's again not major, not the worst job to do. You just have to drop the strut off the car and change that. They're only a couple of quid, it's more the labour involved, but again, just think about that. Quite an easy check to carry out when you're going to buy one of these. Same again, just shake the wheel and that's all good. And a similar story with the pads this side. Obviously the fronts are going to wear the same as long as there's not an issue with the caliper. Moving on to the rear, tyres are all good, matching set as I already said. Have a look at the pads. So the pads there are similar really, they're okay. Probably not miles off the sensor now, but there's still life left in them, so I wouldn't be concerned with that at the moment. The rear bump stops are in perfect condition and along with the spring. I have already checked the spring that side as well. And the same story with the other rear corner up with the pads and the brakes. I have already looked over it. So yeah, that's it really. So next up, we're going to send it up in the air and take a look underneath. Okay, so we're now under the car, just carrying on with the brakes. So we're going to take a look at the brake hoses and the lines. The lines on the front of this car are good condition, and the same with the hoses. There's no real corrosion on the joints. Same over this side. The damper bodies are a bit corroded, but it's only really the paint coating flaking away. It's very common to see on especially UK cars. If you're watching this from a salt-free country, you'll probably look at that and think that's not good, but it's just how they all are, and it's only really superficial. Drive shaft boots, this one here has had a boot on it there. You can see that's recently been done, so again it's a good sign, someone's been taking care of it. Under here there's always a common thing, so if you come around here, there's a power steering line there, and what happens is the swage on the end of the line, it flares out, and then as a quick fix, a lot of people just put a hose clip around it like that, and to be fair, it does often do the trick and it just stops it getting any worse. So that's what's been done in this case. Moving on to more of the underbody, so these obviously quite low cars, so they do drag up curbs and stuff like that. You've got to be quite careful. So there's a couple of little things. So a cable tie here has replaced one of these standard clips, which again is fairly common on 997, 996s. And there is actually an under tray missing from the front here, most likely been caught up a curb, something like that. It's the duct that comes up and sucks it up under there. That's the one that's missing. As for front suspension, the coffin arms are really good. The front forks look new as well. You can see they're nice and shiny. And then moving on back down the sides of the car, we've got the aircon lines. These are actually really quite common on 996s because they're completely exposed. We often see these with damage, corrosion, and also like holes, pinholes where the gas will leak out. So it's a good place to look if you've got a faulty aircon system. On the other side of the car, you'll see these brake lines here. These have been replaced for copper lines. Nothing wrong with that. So they come off here into the joiner block under here, which is often a common place for moisture to sit and corrode away. So it's a good sign again that they've been done. And they've also been done up to the rear, the whole way through. Most likely that will have probably been done with the engine and box out, because they go all the way over the top of the gearbox and route all the way through this side behind the subframe. So yeah, same for rear suspension, all in quite good order really. Wouldn't have said it's been replaced, but it all looks quite good. Can't remember the exact mileage of this one from the top of my head, but it all seems in quite good shape. You've got these cross braces here. The coating's starting to flake away, but as I say, UK cars, we see this quite regularly. It's a good idea probably to either take these off, get them blasted powder coated, or you can replace them for they're not a fortune to replace, but it's just something to keep on top of. Moving on to the engine area. So really common on these engines, you've got the exhaust fixings. They really corrode, whereas this car here, if you look around the turbo studs, they're really good condition. Same on both banks. And then you've got no real signs of any oil leaks at all, to be honest, on the whole engine, which is a very good sign for one of these. Rear main area is all completely dry. So these turbo drains are actually in really good condition. You often see these completely corroded into the sumps, and they're in really nice condition. You can also see it's had new heat shields fitted. So that's, again, a really good sign. Genuine heat shields fitted to the car. Someone's really looked after it and taken care of it. Also, you can check the intercooler condition. If you look up here, I'll shine my torch. So they're in really nice condition, especially for the age of the car. And obviously, along with that, you check all the boost pipes to it, check for cracking and perishing, check the clips are in good condition up there, which they're all in properly, because the last thing you want is boost leaks on one of these. And they're all, in quite good condition, showing some minor signs of perishing, but nothing, nothing to worry about at all. So yeah, we'll now move on to the rest of the car. So one other thing to mention while we're under here is the gearbox. This is a Tiptronic, so there's actually a common leak between the drop gears and the casings. There's actually a pair of gaskets in there that leak. When the cars were new, these gaskets weren't available from Porsche, and Porsche's answer to that was you need a new gearbox. So nowadays you can get the gaskets, they're much more readily available, and we can have them done and back out on the road within a day. This car luckily has had them done, so that's another great thing that's been done and worth checking with the owner. Check the service history and just see if it's been done, because that'll save you a lot of money, because it is fairly labour intensive. You've got to drop your prop off, lower the front of the gearbox down to access it all. So yeah, that's another good thing to check. So we're now in the engine bay. We're going to take a look around at a few things. We're going to start off with the coolant reservoir. So if you take a look at this cap here, it's actually an 01 cap. So Porsche are now pretty sure on the 4th revision. So you see those last 2 digits there, that ends in 01. It should now end in 04. So that is 4th revision, which means they've got to bring out 4 lots of that cap to fix the issues they have with it leaking and things like that. So ideally that should be changed. A couple of the things to look around at in here, you've got obviously your power steering fluid, your pentasyn. You look at that level there, if you turn it around you'll see that's your cold level. So just have a look at that, check it's there. That one's well within spec, so that's fine. And let's get that back on. So yeah, take a look around. Other thing that's common on these is the water pipes are actually bonded into like the alloy. So what happens is with age and heat and loads of heat cycles there, what's the word, the bonding can break down and then the pipes come loose or they leak. So that's another good thing. You can't really see them from in here, but you just ask the owner if they have any knowledge of it being done beforehand. And it's always good if it's been done, because again, it's engine out to do that properly. So next up, we'll mention the air filter in this. This has got a K&M fitted, which is obviously a lifetime filter. Just make sure where it's going in for a service is not being replaced, but it needs to be cleaned and oiled properly, or it's just not going to do its job. So make sure that's being done as well and not just being left. So yeah, I think that's mainly it for under there. We're now going to fire it up from cold. We'll have a listen for the engine, check for any loud ticking noises, and have a listen to the turbos, because healthy turbos should be nice and you almost shouldn't know they're there. So we'll do that now. So as you heard in that clip, this is really nice and smooth. No real noises from the turbos that are abnormal. And yeah, just idles nicely, no noise from any lifters and stuff like that. So that's as it should be. So we're now in the inside of the car. We're going to run through a few things in here. So the first thing, we're going to start off with the seats. So they're really good seats in these cars, but they do suffer with wear on the bolsters. But this car here is actually in really good condition, 76,000 miles. Driver side is obviously more common on the edges, because obviously someone's always sat in the driver's seat, the passenger gets away a bit lighter. Next few things we've got, check where your switch gear's working, so windows, check they all operate. You don't want things like broken regulators and stuff like that. So this car here is all good. Check your mirrors are all adjustment and all that's working. Yeah, next up we're going to move on to this screen here. So this here, you can see it's got dead pixels. Another very common issue in these cars, so you can just replace this, which is, good, but the problem is, it all adds up when things like this are going wrong. So you just gotta, it's quite easy to check, just have a look at it, and that's another thing to bargain with if you buy one. Oh, that's broken, knock a bit of money off for me and stuff like that. So as you can see here, this one here is missing a radio, PCM unit. So look at that, fairly dated unit. It's got a tape deck. So we're currently taking it out, and we're going to be fitting an Apple CarPlay unit to this one, just to bring the interior up to date, make it much more usable. Plug your phone in, have all your music on there, and it's better than a tape deck. So there we have it. That's the main things to look out for on your Porsche 996 Turbo if you're thinking of buying one. Just to summarise, speak to the previous owner or the garage you're buying it from. Check service history, check it's all been serviced when it's been needed. No one skimped on having things done. Using proper parts, all at the right intervals as well. That's really important. So that is obviously more important than the mileage. Don't be put off a high mileage car if it's had all the stamps in the book and everything's been done when it should be done. So yeah, that's it really. Thanks very much for watching this video. Hopefully you find it helpful. Don't forget to get in touch if you've got any questions. We're here to help. Get in touch. We can inspect a car for you if you're thinking of buying one. Anything like that, we're here. So yeah, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and we'll see you next time.